Cup, so they have to win this one at home.
Yeah, and I tell you, they're counting on these fans to give them a boost, so you would expect them to come out with a little extra in their tank tonight. This is a 100% need game in the Cup.
And now, checking out how Brooklyn is doing. Well, they come in 0-2 so far, and now have to play away from their home arena. You know, it's hard enough to win in this league, especially, though, on the road.
And all the momentum and odds seem to be against them heading into this one. But if they come out with a win, watch their confidence skyrocket.
Here are the starters for Brooklyn. We've got Nicholas Claxton. Cam Thomas is out there with D'Angelo Russell. Then it's Johnson, and it's Clowney in at the 4. Now, here's Johnson. Pass to Clowney. Russell against Lowry. Now here's Thomas. Just 4 to shoot. Fires the 3. Paul George grabs the miss. And so George will bring it up for the 76ers. They're getting their first look of the season at the Nets in this one.
And although they were the better team last year by overall record, this was a competitive matchup for them.
Guys, they split the season series, and, you know, there's always randomness to this game. The unpredictability of it. You win some, you lose some, but they certainly want to impose their talent level tonight.
And so it's the 76ers getting on the board first. Thomas surveying the D. Connects from three-point range.
And that's exactly what he's looking for, draining the triple.
Pass to Grimes. Here's Lowry. Here's Yabusele. That's in, coming off an assist from Lowry.
And an eye for an eye. Both teams working to stretch the floor.
Nothing like answering back. One team gets 3, you fire 3 of your own. Boom.
Now here's Johnson. His last outing with 20 points. Claxton. Nice spin off the left rim and in.
Man, what a pass that was there. He really relishes making the game easier for his teammates.
You know, Clark, the days of trust the process are long gone. The Sixers are now focused on the now.
As well they should be, Kevin. With a superstar big guy in his prime and Joel Embiid, there's no time like the present. And it's not going to last forever, so they need to capitalize.
Russell against Embiid. Pass to Grimes. Here's Lowry into the lane. Clowney pulls it in. Enzo Thomas will bring it up for the Brooklyn Nets. Puts it up from 12. Again, the Nets for 2.
Boy, he is looking confident. Love how they're using him so far.
And you know what? They're going to keep using him. I mean, he'll be the centerpiece of their offense today. You can bank on that.
And it's Nick Nurse calling timeout here. He wants to check in with his team and regroup.
Get ready, everyone. You see yourself on the screen, and you show us.
And we're now around the midway point through the group stage games. So let's check out the NBA Cup standings.
Well, as you know, teams are randomly drawn to their groups based off their record from the previous season. And as you can tell, some of these groups are easier to navigate than others.
Grimes passes to Lowry. Good ball movement here by the 76ers. Embiid kicks to George. Shot clock at 6. Over Johnson. And he gets that one to go off the front iron.
Love the flow and rhythm that George plays with. Very impressive. He's got a natural, comfortable cadence to his pace.
Now, here's Johnson. Hasn't made one yet. Pass to Russell. Lets it go from deep. And Joel Embiid pulls it down. Philadelphia's gone 1 or 2 from long range in the first quarter. George with the bucket.
George takes the contact, but good body control there allows him to finish.
Russell with it. Last time out, he had 13 points. Outside, Thomas lets the three fly. Rebound by the 76ers. It's George on the wing. He's guarded by Johnson. And George kicks to Lowry. There's the pick. Driving to the basket. And the rejection by Claxton. And they call the foul, so a chance at the line for one more coming up. It's going to be Embiid shooting. That's on D'Angelo Russell.
And you know, guys, with Embiid on the floor, it's not just about his individual play. He changes everything for everyone on that team. That's how dominant he is. It's not just statistics. His presence alone propels them.
Mind the lanes. Mind the lanes. One shot.
Clark, we know what a great player Joel Embiid is. He was the 2023 MVP, and he was on that same road until he got injured last season.
Unfortunate to see the big fella Embiid deal with the injuries that he has throughout his career, even going back to his 1 year in college. It's unfortunate, but that has hampered what is a special, special talent in Embiid.
George, no good. Nets trail by 5. Thomas, he's got 5. Will it go? And it's Grimes with the rebound.
Guys, this hasn't been his quarter. I mean, to me, he just doesn't look completely comfortable or confident. Putting up a goose egg, bageled this period. At this point, you have to run the offense through somebody else. I mean, that's your only choice. You know, he's been off tonight, off his game. At this point, he might want to focus on creating for others.
Lowry for 3. Rebounded by the Nets. Brownie's got rebound number 5 here tonight.
They need a bucket in a big way here to regain some confidence.
Russell finds Thomas. Claxton sets the screen for Thomas. Buries it from three-point range. Thomas got 8 points.
Watch out now. When this guy gets into a rhythm, it is something to behold.
Back to Lowry. And contact on the shot, so he'll be shooting free throws here. That's on D'Angelo Russell.
Look, Kyle Lowry can never rely on being the bigger guy on the floor. So he has to rely on his smarts and guile and toughness instead. He's a very, very high IQ player.
First free throw is good. This is game 3 for these teams in the NBA Cup Tournament group play. That adds an extra level of intensity, doesn't it?
Kevin, it certainly does, especially because one of these teams has much more to lose. At this point, only one of them might be playing to advance in this tourney.
Drummond's checked in for the 76ers. Oubre comes in for Yabusele. And Kyle Lowry drops them both. Since moving back to Brooklyn in 2012, the Nets, Greg, have won just 2 playoff series.
Just think about the all-stars they've had. KG, Pierce, Durant, Kyrie, Harden. I could name more. The Nets just haven't been able to put it together.
Now, here's Melton. He's a good contributor to his team, averaging about 10.5 points a game. Now running, there comes Lowry, pushing the ball up.
And let's take a look at some numbers for Paul George. Averaging 17 points per game, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists.
Even though his numbers have been more than solid, I think he'll want to step his game up to another level.
Yeah, and you know, on paper, those numbers are terrific. Most players would be thrilled with those numbers, but as good as they are, I know this guy expects more of himself.
And the first one drops. The recent history of the Nets. You know, Greg, they're always looking for a big splash or a quick fix to be competitive.
And, Kevin, this franchise has sold its future more than a few times, but they always find a way to bounce back. You hope they don't go for a quick fix with this group.
The Nets making a switch here. Watford's checked in. And so Lowry nails both of them. And what about the evolution of Tyrese Maxey? Greg, according to him, he's just getting started.
Well, Kevin, I'd have to agree. I mean, he's got some big shoes to fill with James Harden leaving, but each year this guy has just gotten better. And not only has he matched Harden's production in Philadelphia, I think he's exceeded it.
Here's McCain. Taking a look at his stats, he's averaging around 9.5 points a game. Lowry against Melton. And Lowry gets it to go. Lowry's got 7 points.
Excellent play call that time by Lowry, breaking up the defense with the pick and roll to create a shot for himself.
Watford inside. Edwards defending to stop the run, and that's 2 points on the layup. The 76ers leading by 7. Here's McCain, still without a basket. And he gets the basket. Officials blowing the whistle, so a chance at the line for one more.
And a nice job here early of establishing an inside presence.
And this is his first trip to the line tonight. Lonnie Walker, he's checked in for Kyle Lowry.
One shot.
And they've clearly been the aggressors here early on, drawing fouls and working themselves to the line.
And that is always a good recipe for offensive efficiency and a key to their lead tonight.
And now Philadelphia on the break, and it's blocked.
Blocks like that from Melton come from being in your face as a defender. He doesn't back up at all.
And now let's take a look again at that incredible rejection.
Sharp instincts on D there. Just timing when to rise up and swat that one away.
Walker, bounce pass. Some nice ball movement here by the 76ers. Pass to McCain. Shoots over Melton.
Outstanding defense from the crafty guard Melton. So good at making his presence felt.
Knocks it loose. Stolen by Walker. And Walker with a clear path to the hoop. And finished off by Walker.
Displaying intensity right off the opening tip, especially on the offensive end.
Tell you what, forget about easing into the game. They came out with guns blazing.
Now here's Oubre. No scoring in this one. Edwards finds Walker. Here's Drummond. Drummond is doubled. Oubre outside. 4 on the clock. Over Williams. No good off the front eye. Nets trail by 12. And let's head over to the sideline and catch up with David Aldridge.
Hey, Kevin, even with an MVP and Joel Embiid, the Sixers can't be a one-man show. Embiid says, I watch a lot of games and I see what's working. Good basketball means cutting, moving, guys getting off the ball, and it's moving and not sticking. But you need the right guys to execute that system. And I think we've got the right guys. Kevin?
I know you and I agree they do, David. Thank you very much.
And no doubt they'd love to see him get a lot more of those opportunities.
And that deficit will go away quickly if he does, Greg.
Well, I like the way he capped off that drive. The one-hand hole punch.
Now, here's Walker. Last game out, he had 14.
2 minutes remaining in the first. 2 minutes.
Here's McCain. He's guarded by Melton. They grab their own miss. Jacks up a three. A nice shot by McCain. McCain's got his second bucket of the night.
Their play on both ends has been superb. We'll see if they can maintain the momentum.
And, you know, nothing like getting an opponent on the ropes early. You love that if you're on that side of the scoreboard, and they are landing some haymakers now.
And so it's Oubre with it. He brings it up for the 76ers. It's a 13-point game. Edwards a screen on Johnson. Pass to Drummond. Drummond is doubled. The kick out to Walker. The three ball. And it's Melton with the rebound.
And the great shooters know when they've got enough opening to go for the three. I didn't think it was a bad choice on that possession.
Here's Clowney. Still yet to score. Melton, no good.
You know, defensively, you just can't afford to give him that much room. They're fortunate that he missed that one.
Nets trail by 13. Here's Watford. Hits it from three-point range. Watford's got 7.
You know, maybe he's not one of the elite sharpshooters, but even still, that's not a shot that he can afford to give him.
They set the pick. Here's Walker. Here's Edwards. And the shot no good, a bit short.
You know, the fact is he's not a lock from there, but he was open enough to where he should have hit that shot.
Here's Johnson. And it's sent back by Drummond.
How about that swat by Drummond, using all of his height and bounce to deny the offense there.
Great teamwork punctuated by a strong finish.
That is the perfect fast break, guys. Getting a hoop before the defense can get set.
And so it's the Philadelphia 76ers enjoying a 12-point lead as they talk things over during the break. Their transition game has been in full effect. We've got more in store for you right after this. And if you're just tuning in, we've got a wide margin on the scoreboard, but plenty of time left for a comeback. And now we'll get a perspective here on how the hustle game has been going for the 76ers.
They've really been disruptive on the defensive end, forcing turnovers and turning those turnovers into points at the other end.
And something else they've done well tonight is finding points in transition. So far, the fast break has been a plus for them.
Embiid is out there with Paul George. Then there's Gordon. And it's McCain in at the point. That's the group for Philadelphia to start this second quarter. Here's Russell. The quick look, no good that time.
You can't look at the result of that shot. They'll take that whenever they get it.
Well, you know, I hear you. That's a good look, but when you're that wide open, I think you got to knock it down.
Unwilling to let up even for a moment. That's his killer instinct, just fanning the flames.
Yeah, I love the fact he doesn't play the score. He just keeps coming, attack mode. He doesn't know how to step off the gas pedal.
And the 76ers making a change here. Lowry's checked in.
Coming up to the floor for your Sixer, number 7, Kyle Lowry.
Brooklyn with the ball. They trail by 14. Johnson against George. 6 on the shot clock. Top of the key, Claxton. Puts it up. Shot's good by Wilson.
And how about the bounce pass there being used to perfection?
Just over a minute gone here in the second quarter. Russell against Lowry. Embiid dishes to Lowry. Goes up on the wing. That shot is off. Like 6 others he's attempted tonight, he has but 1 basket. Now here is Martin. He's covered closely. Johnson, that's for 2. And Philadelphia grabs the miss. They come into this one following the loss to the Grizzlies.
Scoring efficiency was an issue in that one. Took them too many shots to get their points.
Yeah, and I think they just seem to be a page behind, a step slower out there all game.
Martin, the pass to Claxton. And Claxton throws it down.
And how about he takes on the defender head on and then throws down the two-hander.
Nice. Straight power there. Straight power.
Yeah, I love that determination right there.
On the wing, George. He's guarded by Johnson. 5 to shoot. Here's Grimes. It's a very good look and converts.
And even with the big lead, he remains focused on the task at hand.
Yeah, and you know, that is some shaky and shoddy defensive work. They got to tighten it up.
And Jordi Fernandez has called a timeout. He's going to have a discussion here on the sideline.